Two children knocked on a stranger's door asking to clean his yard for food. They never imagined that simple request would change all their lives forever. Ethan, 10, and Lily, 7, had no parents. The only person they had was their older sister, Sophia, 18, who had dropped out of high school to wash laundry and clean houses so she could provide for them. But for the past week, Sophia had been burning with a fever that wouldn't break. They had no money for medicine, and it had been 3 days since they'd eaten a proper meal. Hungry and terrified for their sister, Ethan and Lily gathered their courage and walked into an upscale gated neighborhood on the outskirts of Greenwich, Connecticut. They stopped in front of a massive estate with towering hedges and a sprawling lawn overgrown with weeds behind an imposing black iron gate. The owner was Mr. William Harrington, a reclusive billionaire businessman known for being cold, demanding, and impossible to approach. He had no wife, no children, and lived alone in the enormous mansion. Usually, security turned away anyone who even lingered near the gate. Hands trembling, Ethan pressed the intercom. Minutes later, Mr. Harrington appeared on the balcony and slowly made his way down the steps, leaning on his cane, his expression stern. "What do you want? This isn't a place for handouts. Go home," he barked. Lily hid behind her brother, shaking. Ethan swallowed his fear and spoke carefully. "So we're not asking for money. We saw your yard is overgrown. Could we pull the weeds and clean it up? You don't have to pay us. Just maybe some leftover food. Our sister is sick." Silence followed. A light breeze moved through the tall weeds like waves under the afternoon sun. The billionaire's eyes studied Ethan's thin face, then Lily's worn sandals. Their clothes were clean but old. There was no entitlement in their eyes, only hunger and pride. "Do you even know how to use a shovel?" he asked gruffly. "Yes, sir. I used to help my dad before he passed away." Something subtle shifted in the man's expression. Without another word, he opened the gate. "The tools are in the shed. If you're going to work, do it properly." For hours under the blazing sun, Ethan hacked away at the weeds, while Lily gathered them into neat piles. Their small hands turned red and dirt-stained, but neither complained. From the veranda, Mr. Harrington watched. They didn't stare at the mansion with envy. They didn't beg for water every few minutes. They worked as if that yard were their only hope. In a way, it was. By mid-afternoon, Lily swayed slightly. "That's enough," Mr. Harrington said, suddenly beside them. He called his longtime housekeeper, Mrs. Eleanor Hayes. "Prepare food for them and pack a basket. Rice, beans, chicken, fruit, and hot soup. Their sister is ill." The children exchanged stunned looks. Inside the grand kitchen, Lily held her bowl of soup with both hands as if it were sacred. Ethan ate slowly, trying to stay polite despite his hunger. Watching them stirred a memory Mr. Harrington had buried for decades. He had once had a daughter, small, feverish, but back then, he had chosen a crucial business meeting over staying at her hospital bedside. By the time he returned, it was too late. Since then, the house had felt too large, too quiet. Maybe pushing the world away had been easier than facing the emptiness. When the children finished eating, Ethan stood. "Thank you, sir. We can come back tomorrow to finish the yard." "Where do you live?" Mr. Harrington asked. They described a modest brick house nearby. Without another word, he grabbed his car keys. "I'll drive you." When they arrived, Sophia lay pale and sweating on a thin mattress. Seeing a sharply dressed man enter with her siblings carrying bags of food, she struggled to sit up. "I'm sorry. Did they bother you?" The house was humble but tidy, not neglect, just hardship. You need a doctor, Mr. Harrington said. Within the hour, a private physician arrived. Diagnosis: a serious infection treatable with proper medication. He paid for everything, and he didn't stop there. In the days that followed, he returned with groceries, a new fan to ease the summer heat, then school supplies. Ethan, you're going back to school next week, he said firmly, and Lily too. Sophia protested, overwhelmed. You'll finish your education as well, he added. I'll cover it. Years passed. Ethan earned a degree in agricultural science. Lily became a landscape architect. Sophia graduated from college and eventually directed a non-profit foundation Mr. Harrington funded to support orphan children in the community. And Mr. Harrington? He was no longer the lonely man behind locked gates. The once silent mansion now echoed with Sunday laughter, birthday celebrations, and long dinners filled with warmth. One afternoon, standing in the garden that had once been buried in weeds, he gathered the three siblings. That day, he said softly, you didn't come asking for charity. You offered work, dignity, courage. He paused. You changed my life. Ethan squeezed his hand. You saved ours. Mr. Harrington smiled gently. No, he said. We saved each other. And in that garden, once a symbol of neglect, it wasn't just roses and lilies that bloomed. It was a family born from a simple request for food and a heart that finally chose to open.